Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, then please do subscribe, and welcome to my channel and everything that I am going to be showing you today. Today's video is going to be a bit different, so going back to where I began with the educational videos, my PhD vlogs, and showing you guys how to excel in academia and how to be the best students you can possibly be. I'm going to be doing a few videos from now till September, taking you through the whole university process. So everything from applying to university and choosing a course, which is what we're going to be looking at today, and writing a personal statement, and deciding whether you want to do a year in industry or a gap year. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to decide what course to apply for university as an undergraduate. So I have my laptop here with me, and I'm going to be splitting the screen in a second and showing you exactly the steps that I would take to decide what course to apply for if you haven't decided already, or if you are kind of sitting on the fence and you think you know sort of what subject, like you know you want to do biology but you're not sure exactly what to go into. I'm going to show you today kind of how to find out what courses there are available, because I didn't know this. So growing up, I just thought there were, you know, medicine, law, accounting, like, you know, the typical traditional degrees. That's all I thought existed. I was doing research for this video and I was looking through the options and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, there's physics with music. Like, you never think these combinations exist because we never look for them. I'm going to be looking at Imperial College London's website because I think that it is the most kind of user-friendly in my opinion, and also I did attend Imperial College for my master's, so I feel like I have a good understanding of the way they work and what they look for. I've typed in Imperial College London undergraduate courses and I'm just going to go onto the courses. Now, as you can see, you've got undergraduate courses A to Z, so literally just listed A to Z, or you have the courses by department. Now, let's just go courses by department because I think most of you will know sort of what area you want to go into, like what field you want to go into. I think there'll be a few of you that have absolutely no idea, but even if you don't, it's okay. So let's just start with courses by department. You have bioengineering, you have biomedical science, chemical engineering, so on and so forth. Now you've got every single course here up to, let's see, up to physics. Of course, you've got medicine, you know, your typical medicine, and this one that I didn't know existed, by the way, which is very interesting. It's intercalated PhD option for medical students. So you'd apply for medicine with the aim to do a PhD. So I believe, I was reading it earlier, you do 4 years or 3 years as a medic, and then you take 4 years out and do your PhD, and then you go back and complete your clinical years. So interesting, but look at how long it takes. It takes 9 years. I mean, I've been at uni for pretty long as well. So let's look at biological sciences. So you've got biological sciences with research abroad, you've got biological sciences with Spanish, year in industry, which means you'll be staying in like maybe London or the UK, but you might be working in an industrial pharmaceutical environment, which is quite interesting. Biotechnology with management, so for that one you'd be at the business school for 1 year, and then biotechnology. So that'll be a nice balance if you're thinking to work in industry, or if maybe you enjoy biotechnology but you want to work in the more consultancy sector of it. As you can see, you've got such a huge range of degrees that you can choose from if you maybe have an idea of what department or what faculty you want to be going into. And this is just Dyson School of Design Engineering. Well, that sounds so interesting. Why did I not know these things existed? Design engineering from Dyson's, wow. And again, you've got computing. So look at how many computing. So you might think to yourself, okay, I love IT, what can I go into? So here you've got AI, which is upcoming. It's definitely a big one these days. And then you've got management of finance, security, software engineering, robotics, another big one for the 21st century. And then maths and computer science, and so on and so forth. So let's just pick one because I think we need to go into one. Pick the Dyson one because I think that one sounds very interesting. As you can see, when you open it up, you've got your key here, your contents, and here we've got key information, overview, structure, accreditation. So some courses are accredited, not all courses are accredited. So for example, you can do a biomedical degree from King's and for it not to be accredited, which means when you finish your degree you are not a biomedical scientist, you still have to go and do a biomedical course. So be careful and make sure that you, if it's a degree that requires accreditation, to get a job, make sure that that degree gives that to you. It's an MEng, which means it's a master's in engineering. Okay, so which means that you don't have a bachelor's, so it's a 4-year degree, meaning it's 3 years plus 1 year master's, and you graduate at the end of the 4th year with a master's. 4 years full-time, all the rest of it. And they have minimum entry of A star AA, which is quite high. And then if you open it up, it tells you exactly what A levels they want. So they want A star or A in mathematics. It also shows you the ratio of applications versus admission, which is actually quite useful to see, because some courses like medicine, it's like 50-1, like it's just ridiculous. Whereas, for example, this one's 8-1, which means for every 8 people that apply, 1 person gets admitted. I think it's decent. I wouldn't expect everyone to be admitted. What exactly are design engineers? So they're problem solvers who bridge the gap between traditional engineering and design. We also have a 6-month paid placement in industry. That's quite interesting. So it's usually quite well paid as well. And then it shows you what kind of modules you have, and then your 4th work, project, etc. So that's the overview. So that already sounds really interesting to me. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds really interesting. Moving on to structure, you've got, make sure that you take a look at the structure of a degree course. So you can see what happens in year 1, core modules, which means what you have to do. In year 1 is always core for any degree. And then in year 2 you have also some core modules. Ooh, Gizmo, that sounds interesting. And then in year 3 you have, so usually in year 2, 3 and 4 you have core modules, but you also have optional modules. So in year 3 we have these core modules with some optional modules. Okay. Business for professional engineers, that sounds quite interesting. I think that would be a good one actually. Business for professional engineers and scientists, that sounds really good, because it will link you up to be able to go into finance and be able to go into the business sector if you really wanted to, which I think is a good skill and qualification to have. And then in year 4 you have your core modules, and then you also have your optional modules, which are also really interesting. So what you usually do is in your 1st and 2nd year you have these core modules where you do pretty much everything, and you cover such a wide scope of the content of any subject. In your 3rd and 4th year you're able to home in to what it is that you enjoyed. So if you really enjoyed the business aspect of it or the AI aspect of it, you can home into that and do that in more detail in your 3rd and 4th year. So that's really cool. So you'll be accredited by the Institute of Engineering Designers and Mechanical Engineers, Engineering and Technology, especially with degrees like engineering, accountancy, for example. Accreditation is really important. Professional accreditation is really important. It shows that you're able to reach a certain standard that is professionally acceptable in that field. And then it shows you how you're going to be taught and how you're going to be assessed, which I think you should take a lot of care into looking at. Other people like to have more lectures and be in taught courses, whereas other people like to be more independent and have more autonomy over their own learning. So really be careful. If you take a look at this, for example, lectures and seminars in year 1 is 400, like almost 500 hours. Independent study is about double that. And that kind of swaps, as you can see, in year 3 and 4. There's more independent study and less lectures and seminars, which is quite typical of a university degree. Fees and funding, so most people get a loan, but it's $9,000 a year now for UK students, and overseas are also there. Accommodation and living costs, now if you're interested in that, then definitely dive into that and take a look. Imperial housing is quite nice, but it's in South Kensington, which is the most expensive area to live in London. So it's going to be very expensive, let me just say that. I didn't move out during Imperial, I moved out during King's, so it wasn't as bad. But it's extremely expensive. However, it's the only time that you are ever, most likely, going to be able to live in South Kensington at that rate. So take it or leave it. And then you've got bursaries and scholarships, so you can find out about what type of bursaries that you are able to apply for. There are loads of bursaries that can cover all your student fees or housing or other scholarships. I think it's really useful if you're someone that is eligible for those kind of things to apply and take a shot, because you never know. And then it tells you about where people have gone on to working for after this course, which I think is really important, because I don't think I took it as seriously as I should have, because had I looked at that, I would have seen that biochemistry, most people don't have the most amazing jobs, because it's not a degree that has an ending, if that makes sense. It's not a degree that has a direct career. Whereas with something like this, you can see people have gone on to working for Samsung, Apple, Bentley, etc, etc, companies that require design engineers. That is just one example of how I would recommend you pick a course. Make sure you look at every single one of these things. Look at the key information, look at the structure of the course. Design engineering in Imperial will be totally different to design engineering at Queen Mary, and it's really important that you're able to take a look and make an informed choice. You are paying almost 10 grand a year, so it would be very naive of you to just walk into a course thinking that because you like the title, it's going to be something that you're going to enjoy. The most important thing is looking at the entry requirements, because when you're picking a course, by that point you've probably already chosen your A-levels. So you know that you're doing maths, you know that you're doing biology and chemistry, let's say. So if you're picking something like design engineering, you know that you are eligible. However, if you haven't got maths, let's say, and you haven't got physics, and you're trying to choose engineering, maybe some universities might allow you, but the top universities would be looking for physics and or maths. So it's really important that you look at the entry requirements and see whether you fit those requirements. I hope that was really helpful. I'm sorry that I can't go through every single degree course. I would love to. I really want to give you guys some of my knowledge and my experience, and I feel like I'm saying this like I'm so old, but I have been to 3 universities and I have done all of this 3 or more times. I feel like there's not many people on YouTube who give you this kind of information. Everyone just does it and just gets on with it, and there's not many people that can actually sit down and show you step by step how to do it. People just need that step by step, and it's okay. It's very overwhelming. Choosing a degree is such a big and important deal that it's not something to take lightly. Do leave me a comment down below, and if you are new to the family, then please subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.